Oh,
hammer down.
All right.
Hammer down.
Showtime. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh.
Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm your host, Johnny Martinson. I'm screaming at you. Here's Matthew and
Yo.
Here's Brandon.
I'm not gonna yell.
We got some stuff to talk about today. Let's take this serious, man. We have a serious.
Do we ever take these seriously?
This is apparently Matthew's only job, so you need to take this seriously.
And I'm a hobo, so.
Yeah.
And I don't even get paid for this.
Shh, you do your jokes and love.
Okay, sorry, continue.
This is the Shield Podcast. We're back.
We're back.
BJJ Talks,
Bring it back
episode, what, 3?
Episode
4.
four.
Episode 4, man.
Time flies.
Every week we're bringing you something new. And for those 28 views, 38 views, you guys have spoken. We heard what you guys want us to talk about because
More like red.
Well, no, they sent it to me.
That the?
We requested what? You know, if you come to practice, if you come to training, you know.
Yeah. So one really big thing that some people have asked me to talk about is gym culture and how certain coaches have dealt with sexual harassment in the gym.
Oh.
Man, deep. Not like the other topics, not like jiu-jitsu news. We'll get to maybe who's number one later.
So we're gonna start off real serious, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, real serious.
Serious and deep. We're not going for that shallow
So
stuff.
little story time. We know that things have happened in Florida. We know that certain things have happened in the jiu-jitsu community that brings it to all of our attentions, but no one's really speaking out about it. Like maybe jiu-jitsu coaches or professors that are out there. And I think it's important for us to talk about it, that things get addressed, because like I think for the most part, people kind of put professors and coaches on a pedestal and they could never do anything wrong. And like when certain things happen in the community, some people might be afraid to talk about it, but then there's times when people do talk about it. I'm not saying, what's that movement that's going around? That went around. It's the
Me Too.
The Me Too movement, right? I think I lost my train of thought, but I know that like
it brought to light like a lot of things like that, you know, and we were talking about the other day, just kind of like as a joke, like kind of jokingly, but like, you know, martial arts in general, like the coaches, the professors, it's very set up to be like almost cult-like, where where the professor holds so much power, like you're so into this thing, you're financially invested, your time invested, and they hold the power to promote you or put a stripe on you, and it's this like arbitrary thing that we put so much pride into because you put so much time into it, and so it can lead to like a slippery slope of like that power and control turning into something kind of sinister and dark if the right people aren't around.
Yeah, if not kept in check.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And that's where the story time comes in. And I'm not going to be out here naming any names, but when certain people come up to the professor about certain issues, about certain individuals in the gym, you need to address it, okay? And that's coming from a law enforcement perspective, and I'm sure that this guy to my left would also probably agree that like you as a coach need to address this stuff right from the get-go. I remember there was a time back in my early years as a coach seeing a certain member slapping another female on the butt. You have to snip that right away. Maybe I shouldn't have been talking about that, but you know who you are. And you as the head coach, you need to take care of it right from the get-go. And not let everyone know that type of behavior is not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable in your space, and plus, like, you know, you gotta, like you said, you gotta set the standard. You know, some there might be some females that are okay with like being one of the guys, and I know we all know plenty of those, you know, types of females out there, but not everyone's like that. And so like, you know, just in general, you know, don't go outside the scope of what you're doing. Don't touch people if they don't want you to, obviously. But you know, it gets into something a little more serious too. Like especially if you have, you know, if you have somebody saying like, hey, I don't like that, it doesn't make me comfortable. It's not only like a bad look for you, but if you're a professor, you're the owner of a gym, and these guys that are doing this, you know, here and there, maybe start teaching a class, and then their acts are a extension of you in the gym and your business, and then so you're looking at civil liability if there's something happens, and so you just got to get that stuff in check, and there's no room for it in our sport, in our society in general. But I mean, smack the other guys. You know, smack someone else's ass if you want to, but you know, make sure they're cool with it. You know,
pretty much.
I know Matt likes it, so I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it's different. that stuff, it's of course like once guys, you know, it's built on like the relationship thing. It's like growing up in sports, you know, we always smack each other on the butt, and like good job and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, when it's men and ladies, like I always try to, you know, treat them with respect. Even with rolling, like sometimes your hands can get in weird, awkward places while you're rolling with a female. So it's like I try to be conscious of that as well, because it's, you know, you don't want to. For me anyway, I don't want to come off as that kind of guy. It's like, you know, groping a girl or, you know, stuff like that inside the gym. And but that kind of goes back to, it's like, I kind of know what kind of atmosphere you want to set for the gym. So it's what kind of, you know, space we want to have, and just how I would want someone to treat, you know, a female in my family. And so it's stuff like that. It's just, I try to keep those standards high and clean. You know, there's been a couple times, and like I told you guys earlier, it's, you know, I've accidentally came close to, you know, touching a female on the butt, because I would pat people after rolls, and it's like I had to catch myself. It's just like, you know, I didn't want to come off as that, and I didn't want, you know, and I felt terrible because I came close to her butt, and it's just, so there's a couple of them that I apologize to, and you know, most of the time they're like, you know, you're fine. Like, you know, our sport I'll always say it's an intimate sport because we're always so close and everything, but, you know, there's still lines that shouldn't be crossed at the same time.
Absolutely.
So really, the moral story is don't be creepy.
Yeah.
Don't be weird.
And don't be sending like people DMs, man. Like they tell you to stop, homie. They might not tell you to stop, but they're giving you the 2-word answers. That should be a sign. You know,
1-word answers, yeah.
You're goofy. And sorry if I was smiling earlier, because I thought of a role that me and Matt had about inappropriate touching people. And so, real quick,
you gotta hurry up and explain.
We're gonna have to explain. No. I sent Matt a wrestling reel, right? Of the oil check. And my finger ended up in a spot where it shouldn't have been, in a roll.
I let him know quick. I was like, Johnny?
Accidentally. Moving on.
But yeah, so, you know, that serious topic, but someone requested it and it has to be said, you know, so, just, again, it goes back to kind of everything we were talking about the past couple of weeks. Create a gym culture that you want your sister, your daughter, your cousin, you know, your female friends to go to.
Yeah, and it's like, one thing I'll add in too, it's like, you know, sometimes you're rolling with, you know, someone else's, you know, significant other or wife, so it's like, you know, if you respect that person, like if you know the husband or significant other, it's like you should have that respect for them too. It's like, so it's, you know, they're kind of trusting the people that they're rolling with to treat, you know, them with respect. So it's, they may also roll, they may not also roll. So it's like, you know, they're putting that trust into the other people at the gym unknowingly kind of thing. So it's, you know, you should let them have a good taste in their mouth from that experience and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a pretty like stark dichotomy too of like it's gonna be people like in the like hobbyists like coming to the classes, unlike the comp training. You know what I mean? Like people that are training in comp training are doing this for a while. They're, you know, they understand the positions you're in. You're not trying to like be weird. You're trying to train, and so like you just need to be cognizant. Like when you go into these like regular classes with people that are coming in once a week or once every couple of weeks, that they might not be comfortable with their body positions and their body in general, and being that close to other people. So just err on the side of respect. But like when it comes to comp training, it is what it is.
Yes,
You're there to train. So
but being in that kind of class, like you said, you should already know how to move your body, like what can be expected, kind of thing, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that kind of segues into like the dudes and rolling with ladies. Guys, if you're 100 pounds over the female, and it doesn't just have to be a female. If you're 100 pounds, like 20 pounds over, I would say, 20 pounds and above, come on, man. Like, you don't have to like sweep them and smother them and keep them in like the same position.
That's so wild.
People do that, and like you douchebags, you guys know who you are that do that because you feel that. Some people feel that they have that power over someone, so they're okay with doing that to other people, and that's not okay.
Yeah, I always try to like whenever I'm rolling with a female or even someone like a lot smaller, like a rooster weight or something like that, like if I'm using any sort of my muscle, like then I know that I'm doing too much. Like focus on technique, sweep them if you can.
Yeah.
But like don't come up on them and smother them and stuff like that, because they need to know what a bad position is and if they're gonna get swept and all those things. But like that's wild that people would be like, I'm like smother tap a female. Like,
I wouldn't smother a female, but it's like if a female's just like, go to mount and hold me there kind of thing, like, so I can try to work out of it, because like sometimes feeling that like the different pressure from a guy is a little bit different and harder to get out of than a female. So it's like sometimes they need that, especially if there's not a lot of females like our gym kind of thing. So it's like, but that's something discussed before the roll. Like you don't just go in there and just beat on the like you said the female or the smaller person. You got to learn how to use that balance of your strength and stuff like that. Not be a dick, but
but there's some ladies out there that kind of take offense to guys throttling back, and ladies, this also goes to you. This is today's all BJJ talks have been stuff that you guys have messaged me about. So this is just my perspective. But I think that other ladies should probably find like other training partners around their same size to other females to roll with. And I know that right there is just a topic I try not to even get into, and like I try not to even have like never mind. I'm gonna keep that right there. I think I don't want to open a can of worms right now.
I mean that goes with males too, even like a dude that's going to pick a training partner that's like a lot smaller than them, and unless you're doing it just because like I don't know, like there's reasons to do things, right? And sometimes people will do that because they want an off round. And I saw like a meme that one like a female from our gym posted the other day is like, I'm not your off round. And so it's like don't pick somebody that's smaller and just because you want like an off round. Like ask them like if it comes up and you two are paired up in a roll, like hey what level or how do you want the pressure or like that type of thing.
And I've kind of gotten to the place, I'm not perfect with it, but it's like you said, I use less strength, try to use more technique, and it's I try to stay on bottom as much as I can, because once I get on top, you're on top kind of thing, usually as a bigger guy. And so it's, and that's something like that you've kind of taught a lot of us. It's just, play guard, try to, work different things, new things. And I try not to muscle too much, but, try to find that balance. And, not always ask like after the roll and everything like that, if it was how they felt and if it was good for them and stuff. And they usually let me know. And so it's, but I just don't go in there just muscle stuff and, just give all my strength.
And that transitions to a topic of, it doesn't matter who you are, ripping subs in practice.
Being the mat bully.
Mat bully.
What do you think about that?
let me tell you something. This has been a hot, debated topic with me and some of my other students. So if you're watching this, I pulled up the study, and I mean, like, there's many studies to common jiu-jitsu injuries, but like the one sub that comes up the most in almost every research paper that I pulled up, study I pulled up, is the armbar. The armbar is one of those subs that takes a great deal of control. And for both the person that's applying the armbar and the person that's receiving the armbar, because some people just don't tap. And then when things, they don't even need to hip in, and it's already too late.
Yeah.
And like, we need to also understand on the flip side of that too, that like when you're overextending yourself, sometimes in the heat of a roll, that things might get a little saucy. Things might pop, and it's not because like our training partners are being malicious, right? And that doesn't mean you should come back and like be malicious or post things on social media about like certain people because an accident, right? And that just kind of makes people feel bad too. And we know those people that come out there and maliciously rip subs on people. And don't be that guy, or girl, and don't pull hair. I like some people that have messaged me talked about like females pulling other females' hair during a roll. I'm like, bro, that is brutal. Yeah. Like, some of y'all ladies you guys are like a hot jalapeno, man.
See that like, to me it's wrong, but at the same time it's like, like the NFL has that, if it's outside your helmet, you can use it to tackle kind of thing. Like,
you're saying that we should pull on
No,
hair?
I'm not saying that, but it's like, is that what we're trying, like, is that what we're implementing? Or is, that it's part of like the uniform, but it's, if that's like that should be stated, I guess. Like, it's some of those stupid things.
I'm so lost, bro. Are you saying that hair pulls are okay?
He's advocating for hair pulls over here.
No, but what I'm saying is because, everything that usually happens, there's something stupid happens, and then a rule comes involved. Like, that should, even though it should be obvious, like, don't do it. Like, because of certain things, like the NFL has that, things like, because of, like, I don't think that's legal, should be legal in the NFL, but it is. Like, so it's like, they made a rule that it's legal, so it's like jiu-jitsu.
Well, bro,
like,
I'm pretty sure it says do not pull hair, bro.
You heard it here first. Just Matt is advocating for hair pulling.
I'm sorry.
Do it.
For the person, for the lady in a different state that has talked about this. That is not what we advocate here.
We don't do that here. At least us two.
I pull Johnny's hair.
I oil check Matt.
That's why I pull. Oh God. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Again, this is an intimate sport.
Oh man. So we're fast forwarding this right now. Like, we're going into belt promotions. What do you guys feel about it? Do you feel that certain people got bumped up a little too fast? What's the coach's standard for you guys? I mean, you're a purple belt. You've kind of grappled for a little bit, so hit me. Belt promotions. Like, how should a coach like myself? How can we tell other black belts out there, Matt, how we should promote people?
Man, that's always tough, because every time I've Googled stuff like that, it's like how you get promoted. It's like,
you really Googled how black belts should promote people?
Well, how I don't know.
Bro.
I Googled something, and it's just like every time something comes up, it's like it depends on the gym kind of thing. So it's like, which is
I can't disagree with you.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing, because different people have different journeys. So it's like you can't compare. You can't. It's not a straight, definite answer, I guess, in my opinion, because it's everybody's battling different things, or conquering different obstacles and stuff.
Apparently, IBJJF put out like a guide to promotion. Did you know that?
Yeah, there's certain like time. No, it's really just timelines.
Yeah,
like 2 years as a blue belt is like a standard that they want to like see or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, but I don't think there's a standard for a white belt. And that's why like some of the college wrestlers that we have here got promoted like very quick because they can't compete as white belts.
No,
technically they can't.
Yeah.
But this whole belt promotion thing, man, it's kind of it's a mixed bag for everyone. So, what do you say?
Yeah, well, you know, like you and I've talked before. Like, you know, there's some guys on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. They're like, hey, I got promoted from white to brown in like X amount of time. Like, you know, here's my system. And are they like, you know, how legitimate is that? You know, are they competing in IBJJF or, you know, is it a gimmick? You know, I've sent them memes or like videos of like guys like, oh, I self-promoted to black and got a bunch of stripes. And, you know, so it's like, I think the standard, you know, it's going to be based on, you know, what your goals are.
Okay.
He doesn't even care what I'm saying.
No, I'm listening. I'm trying to open up the responses, man.
Yeah. So like, I feel like the standard.
He was texting earlier, bro.
I don't care.
I was looking at the
We're
standard.
talking about you. You're the host. You're the leader.
Yeah, so like the standards are like, it should be based on like what you want to accomplish, right? Like if you're going to compete, then you should probably promote like a little bit slower unless you're winning a world or a major title, you know? Like if you're a blue belt and you go out and you win blue belt pans and you place at worlds, you know, it's up to your coach, right? But if you go out and you win the next year, you know, you probably should get promoted.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? I would think it would be weird to see somebody, and I'm sure you've seen it, like someone win multiple times at a belt, like world, like a lower belt. Yeah. To me, it's like you kind of reach. If you won worlds, like you reach the pinnacle.
I know one person personally that have won purple belt worlds twice before they got bumped up.
Wow.
Dang.
Yeah, they're top of the world twice. Adult purple belt twice.
To me though, it's like that seems like weird, like kind of petty almost from like the professor standpoint. Like you're literally the best in the world. Like no, like you should be promoted to brown. I mean,
it's like you proved that. Like especially if you've competed at other high competition before or after that kind of thing too. It's, you know, because you know I actually saw the post. You know, they're IBJJF is posting like the Grand Slam winners. And it's like, you know, if someone's, you know, a purple belt or, you know, or low, like the lower ranks, like if they win worlds, but then, you know, they're winning, like, they won like a pans, like that should be, to me, a sign like, okay, we should start thinking about this kind of thing. If they win another one, it's like, okay, go ahead and bump them.
So what about like, so there's like, I know that there's like a general, you know, hey, you go to a certain amount of classes, you kind of tab up type of thing, but like, speaking about the competitors, like I mean, I know me personally, like I train 5-6 days a week, you know what I mean, and so like someone that does that, you know, theoretically I guess should be on a fast track to getting like promoted faster, but they're not because you're in it for a different reason, right? You're in it to get better, to compete, to be the best at that belt, not to just kind of progress through. Like I did karate when I grew up, and I did some competitions, but I wasn't like as involved, right? You know, like there wasn't that like that end goal. You know, I want to be a master world champ. You know, like I want to be a world champ. I don't care if it's master before it or not. You know, I'm still gonna put world champ just M1 really small next to it.
Oh man, dude, no, don't say that, man. There's the whole thing about that.
I'm kidding. I will be an age division world champion, blue belt. Watch it this year.
Do we want to add anything to that?
No, well, as the coach, as the black belt.
Yeah.
Now, black belt perspective. There is two different roads that your students go down. There's competitors, which you look at, like, unless they're white belts that were college wrestlers, they're going to get bumped up to blue belt super quick, in my opinion. And from there, those competitors take some time to grow. And then there's the hobbyist that could care less about competing, and you can't look at them the same way because, you know, these guys, you want them to kind of nourish and like grow in their belts, and so do you on this side of the spectrum too, but not you don't.
It's not as intense.
It's not that intense, and you know that like for me, for the hobbyist, the most important thing is that they could pass the knowledge of jiu-jitsu down to other people. And, you know, they're in it for a totally different reason. They're just here just because they want to make friends. They're here to
get
in shape. Exactly. Whereas, like, I would say, for some of the other guys, they're here because they have a goal.
Yeah.
And they have aspirations to do this later on in the future. And it's very important for them to win some accolades to further better their future. So it's important for that. And it's important that as a coach that you don't like rush them through that process. Whereas this guy or girl, that they'll never open up a school. They're just here just to have fun, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the two things.
And that kind of goes into what we talked about, whatever, last week or 2 weeks ago, about like fostering a good environment, because you want to build competitors. I know you personally want to, you want to build world champions, but you also want to build like productive members of society. And so like I want to be a world champ, but I also have a family. I run a law practice. I'm an attorney. I'm not out here sleeping on the mats. You know, and I'm not like making this my whole life. But like to me, what makes it great and what makes like our atmosphere great is that we have a bunch of people who do a bunch of different things and are pretty we're pretty world-class competitors in here. There's a lot of us. I mean, I've only done one IBJJF tournament, but I won the Nogi, and I was pretty stoked on that. It was my first turn as a blue belt, and I think that that really shows the level of competition and the intensity that we have in our room. I feel like, especially
with just the pedigree that we come from too, and not only that, we do have some accomplished wrestlers as well too. So it's just the room is different.
Yeah, and I like to kind of put it like, there's being world champ jiu-jitsu wise, but it's like, also being world champ off the mats too.
Absolutely.
And it's like, those, to me, those go hand in hand. So you got to have like, and I think it ties into, like you said, the gym culture. It's like, we got to act and walk and talk like world champs, as we compete and as we, do everyday life. And it's just kind of having that mindset tied all together kind of thing. Because it's like, just because you're a world champ, you can be world champ on the mats and get your medal and everything like that, but, be a crappy person off the mats and everything, and still not learn the true meaning of like the martial art of jiu-jitsu and stuff like that.
Yep. That's another thing that we have to think about as coaches to follow up with these guys, is that you don't want your name to be behind like someone that's not that good of a person. I'm not just talking about like skill-wise. Skills and all that will come with time no matter what. If I were to bump certain brown belts up now to black belt, although maybe then they're not at that level, that they will be, and they are good people, and they are great leaders on the mat, and that's very important. That's more important to me than someone that could kick everyone's butt. Because you guys know which brown belts I'm talking about. A lot of those kids look up to those guys, and even the adults, they could listen to like some of their advices, and like people will follow them.
For sure.
Really good people. But now we're gonna do rapid fire questions. We gotta wrap this up. I think by the time when this gets posted, we have missed some of the questions, but we're gonna go down the line.
Are you gonna
say? You got quite a few of these.
Yeah, no,
I love it.
Are you gonna say who asked it
Nope,
or no?
I'm not gonna say.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so Anonymous was like, do you guys have assigned seats always sitting in that order? You sit your butt down, Matt.
This is weird. Don't move.
Don't get up.
Apparently we do.
Yeah.
Apparently we do.
Yeah.
Matt's the right-hand man, and I'm just here, so.
Okay.
That's how it washed out.
Well, I did start over there, and then you joined, and I came over here. I don't know what.
Now that we're a throuple.
Man, we got to get these questions.
Rapid fire. This is a very
rapid fire. All right. What's your favorite hobbies outside of jiu-jitsu?
What's that?
No hobby. Well, I like cars. I like motorcycles. I like them a lot.
I work out. I get up 4:30 in the morning. I work out. I go to work, and I come to jiu-jitsu, and then I go home, and then I do it all again.
It's the same with me. I drive fast back home with my fast car.
Does coaching kids class count as a hobby?
Right.
Okay. Next one is. This has nothing to do with jiu-jitsu, but
Who cares?